So the two most common propane tanks you will see are the 13 kilogram patio gas on the left and the 19 kilogram FlowGas on the right. You can get obviously Cala or FlowGas or different brands, but they're more or less the same thing. And the Ooni comes with a fitting for the green patio gas. What we're going to do is change that for a fitting, a regulator that fits the 19 kilo tank instead. Obviously gives you more gas, lets you make more pizzas, and actually works out a lot cheaper than buying the 13 kilo tanks. So let's look at the regulators and see how you fit the correct one to the Ooni Koda. So this is the regulator that comes pre-fitted to your Ooni Koda. If you're in the UK, of course, this would possibly be different depending on which country you are in. But this is a 37 millibar regulator which fits onto the patio gas style fitting. And we're going to replace this. Now this is a 37 millibar regulator which fits the FlowGas canister, and you can see it's got a screw mount. I've already pre-fitted this to a length of pipe, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment, but it is very straightforward. It just pushes onto the barb and then you secure it with the clip. Now on the other end of the pipe from my FlowGas regulator, I have a set of quick release couplings. There's one end fitted to the end of the regulator, and this is spring loaded, and when this side is connected to the pipe, once you push it in, that makes the connection and allows the gas to flow through. And the beauty of it is, once you disconnect, this is a stop, so you don't have to turn off the gas. So when you put your Ooni Koda away, you simply remove that, put your Koda away, and this stops any gas from coming out. Like I said, I've pre-fitted this to the new regulator, and that's going to fit onto the 19 kilo tank. I've also got a second piece of pipe with, again, quick release set on one end, and the other end has got nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the regulator that came on the Ooni onto this side, and then I will have a patio gas regulator and a FlowGas regulator. And that's of course if I'm waiting for my replacement FlowGas to arrive. I can always switch to the patio gas because I've got one of each. So I'll have two regulators for two separate tanks, and they both use the same connection. So this again will fit onto the end of the pipe from the Koda, and we'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so here we have our Ooni regulator, and I've got a socket, and this is a 7mm socket, and I'm just going to loosen off the clip. As you can see, we're now loose. Put this down. I must apologise for the noise, but people are working in their gardens. A little bit more. Okay, so we've pulled back the clip, and then we're going to remove this from the regulator. And the best way of doing that is with some boiling water. So, one bowl of boiling water. I'm just going to submerge the entire thing in some boiling water for about 30 seconds or a minute, and that will soften up the pipe. And then just grabbing it with a cloth because it is a bit warm and a bit wet. I'm just going to pull this off. And there we go, that is the regulator. And it is very hot. That's the regulator taken off. So while we've got this end and the pipe is still warm, we're going to fit the other end of the quick release. We're going to fit this into here and push down, and there we go, that's fitted. And then we're just going to retighten the clip with my socket. So make sure you don't over tighten this. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough that you don't get any leaks. So now my neighbour's doing some chopping, which is good. So now when we put this in, that connects up rather nicely. Now you could, if you like, put some tape around here just to keep this from sticking out, but to be fair, it's fine. So as you can see, we've now got a good connection for when we put the gas on. So that's the Ooni pipe done. And then of course here, we've got the other pipe that I'm going to be using for the regulator. So again, I'm just going to submerge this in the boiling water. And then we're going to push this on the regulator. You can twist the pipe as you do it, it doesn't matter. It's the best way of getting it on. It's also good if you can make sure that the cut is very clean, so you're getting a very straight edge. So there we go, that's now on. Now it's just a case of using a clip to secure. And there we go, as you can see, we now have our Ooni regulator that came with the oven on a piece of pipe. The other end I've got quick release, and that is ready to connect to the Ooni by the 13 kilo patio gas canister. And it's always amazing when you're trying to record a video outside and your neighbours start using power tools. There you go, once you start you really can't stop. So let's move on to the next stage. So now we have our 19 kilo canister. You do need one of these, which is a 30mm spanner, and I got mine with the chain so it gets kept on the tank. And you simply offer that up to the screw and it goes the opposite way to the you think, so it's counterclockwise. So you start to screw it in, keeping it straight, and screw it in by hand until you feel it bite, so you can't turn it by hand anymore. Doesn't take too long, that's it now, but you can see it's still quite wobbly. So you just need to give it a couple of turns. There we go. It's just really one big turn. You'll see that is not going to move anywhere. Don't do it any tighter than that, otherwise you may not be able to get it out. This can just then stay in the tank like that, and now you've got your pipe with the quick release, and if I turn the gas on you will hear no gas. However, I've got another end here, so if I put this in, you can hear the gas. And I can smell the gas, but without it in, no gas comes out. So now we're ready to fire up the Ooni Koda for the first time. I hope you found this interesting, and Any questions, drop me a message and I will do my best to answer them.